Hi, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Today, my topic, bringing Taiwanese students closer to the world. Bringing Taiwanese students closer to the world. Bringing Taiwanese students closer to the world. This is my topic for this evening. But why free time? Because it is important per se, right? But it's also to make sure that you are in the right talk. Of course, if you are not in the right talk, no worries. One of the characteristics of a presenter is that he has no doubt for one single moment that the capacity of the people he is communicating for realizing whatever the presenter presented. Imagine if Martin Luther King, I'm sure that you know who is Martin Luther King, and say that I have a dream, but suddenly he say, oops, I'm not sure whether they are the right audience. So, I'm quite sure that many of you might guess the main message I would like to deliver at this talk. Because according to your school's website, the ultimate goal of your school is to nurture the future global citizens with an international perspective. However, in Taiwan, when we refer to international, it usually means English-speaking world. But when the world becomes ever more multicultural and connected to more through the technology, maybe Anglo-Saxon perspective is not enough. If you pay attention to the recent news, according to the latest statistics of the University Admission Committee in Taiwan, among the 18 groups distributed this year, the foreign languages group has the highest vacancy rate. Why? It shows that English language related departments have become less favored by the student in Taiwan. Of course, you guess that I, as executive director of the Youth Center in Taiwan, maybe I have a bias since after Brexit with UK leaving EU. UK is no longer the EU member state. But don't get me wrong. You know, the EU has 24 official languages. English is still one of them, and furthermore, English is a working language at the EU administrative level. In other words, English is essential, but let's not limit ourselves to English-dominant work only. Just like the Buzz Lightyear, I assume that you know who is Buzz Lightyear, to infinity and go beyond. Of course, ironically, it's a Hollywood movie. So how to get out of this English-dominant world? I always remember two questions asked by my French teacher in his first class. D'où venez-vous? And où allez-vous? Anyone speak French? Or woher kommen Sie? Und wohin gehen Sie? Anyone speak German? Or I know someone speaks Spanish. ¿De dónde eres? And ¿a dónde vas? And in English, these three different languages all means where are you from? And where do you go? By the way, my French teacher is a priest and loves to ask philosophical questions. He said that we cannot decide where we come from. It's given. But we can definitely choose where we want to go. So for today's talk, I'm trying to help you to figure out of your own answer to questions. Your journey is taking off, for sure. But where do you go? And how? Different generations might choose different paths, different journey. As one of the Generation Z, born between 1997 and 2012, you are entering adulthood during or in the wake of a global pandemic that significantly changed both education and industry. The online courses, just like what we have today, Online lectures, virtual meetings have become the new normal to you. Experiencing life outside of the lab or home has been essential to the success in developing a scientific career. But now, it seems it's quite a luxury for the Generation Z like you. And the youth center happened to be the Generation Z. Why? Because European Union Center Network was created in 1998. The EU Commission and movement, and when they launched this ambitious initiative to establish a network of youth centers in American universities. Pay attention, it's not in Europe, it's outside of Europe, it's in United States. It's based on the people-to-people concept, means building the bridge across the Atlantic relations. The objective of youth center are to increase the awareness of the political, economic, and cultural importance of transatlantic relations, and to provide information and education about the European Union. The youth center in Taiwan is one of these global networks. We are also a consortium with 7 universities in Taiwan, led by the National Taiwan University and co-funded by the EU. That's why I have plenty of opportunity to talk with the young people from both EU and Taiwan for their own future journey. I can tell definitely the frustration of the Generation Z when their plans were changed due to this endless pandemic. This uncertainty has also increased anxiety of the young people, not only in Taiwan, rather it's a common phenomenon around the world. The world seems not the same as we used to know. The pandemic has been a difficult period of time for young generation in particular. Of course, it's reasonable to expect that those who have a difficulty time during this pandemic might be more motivated to study abroad in order to improve these kind of circumstances. The pandemic could last, probably could have the effect of amplifying aspirations, ambitions. But however, according to the statistics of the Ministry of Education, in academic year 2020 and 21, approximately there are 60,307 students from Taiwan studying in a different country all over the world. Compared to the year before, we are down from 71,488 students. So obviously, the statistics shows that it's not the case in Taiwan. There are less students being motivated. We prefer to stay in Taiwan. Of course, during this pandemic, Taiwan is really a comfort zone for most of us. But now, you can tell from the news, you read, or the information you see on Facebook or the IG, the world is back on track. So we should also put our life back on the normal track. In other words, when the world starts to shift to a post-pandemic era, there is nothing more important than removing our self-limited behavior. Education should help to empower the young people to articulate and engage and participate and shape their own future. So your future should be shaped by your own decision. In short, the greatest danger in life is not taking risk. So it's time for you to be a game changer now. No one is too small to make a difference. The best model for Taiwanese students might not be us, probably we speaker tonight, but rather the peers, the people who have the same age like you around the world. The peer experience from other parts of the world might provide Taiwan students to become more open-minded and to be exposed to other cultural and values. It also allows Taiwanese students to discover what the world needs as well as to help transform the community they live in through action and inclusion. I always have a strong belief that education does not only take place within school, but anywhere, anytime in the education process. I assume that the name Greta Thunberg, anyone know this girl? Greta Thunberg might be familiar with some of you. She attracted international attention since her long demonstration outside of the Swedish Parliament in August 2018. Her school strike for the climate has now grown into a global demand actions on climate change. Greta was declared Time magazine, maybe you'll read that before, this year's person in the same months, the former President Donald Trump told her to work on her anger management issues. Of course, it's not a very good, comment. The lesson we might learn from Greta is that her actions are consistent with her work. Overall, actions speak much, much louder than words. In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the EU actually has designated this year, 2022, the European Year of Youth. Of course, here are some tips for you to explore the world based on the European experience. The first, united in diversity. That's the motto of European Union, united in diversity. It signifies how the European has come together in form of the EU to work for peace and prosperity, while at the same time being enriched by European continent, many different cultural traditions and languages. By the way, in 2012, the EU was awarded for Nobel Peace Prize in recognition of over 60 years of peace, reconciliation, and democracy. But if we look at the top 10 study abroad destination for Taiwanese students in 2021, means last year, they are United States, Australia, Japan, UK, Canada, Germany, South Korea, Poland, New Zealand, Netherlands. They are the top 10. Most of the students, you can tell, choose English-speaking country for their study abroad. There are many reasons behind their decision, but I think one of the reasons might be the language concern. But if we look at the majority of the EU member states, more than 3/5 of the students from the age 16 to 19, probably roughly the same age, were learning 2 or more foreign languages. Again, English is a working language, but if you have a multilinguistic background, it will help you to have a more angle or lens to observe the world. Why? Because each human being actually see the world in a way shaped by their own biography, psychology, value, belief, and biases. But don't limit to yourself to any single ideology when you are still young. You should be enriched by many different cultural traditions and languages. I know there might be some stereotype or biases during your formation. Will be educated. There are certain stereotypes. But beware that when we come across the same stereotypes again and again, it will become so natural to you, and it will start to shape our own preferences and our view of the future path. The second, mobility is important experience. We always say that he that travels far knows much. Have you heard the Erasmus Plus program. The program named after Desiderius Erasmus. Anyway, he is a Dutch philosopher, and priest traveling for a long time along the route of many European cities in the 15th century as a wandering scholar like the Confucius of China. So this program is named after Erasmus. It's one of the best known and most successful programs. Over the past three decades, there are more than 10 million people who have participated in the Erasmus Plus and his predecessor. The program actually focuses on learning, and you have to stay at least 2 countries and learn their not only languages but also learn their culture. So the emergence of the so-called new Erasmus generation in Europe is not only speak multi-languages but also have plurilingual competence based on the value of humanism, democratic citizenship, and it's essential for a better world we are looking forward. So the third most important tips is social responsibility. Means everything based on your formations is to help you to become an active citizen. So the purpose of the program is offering skill, knowledge, and experience to take up is to face our challenges in both now and in the year to come. So as we mentioned earlier, for example, the young climate activist Greta Thunberg, he's not only doing for his own good, he's actually taking her social responsibility to speak out loud. Can you imagine a 16 years old, same age as you, address at the United Nations Climate Action Summit to voice for change? So I think here are the 2 important keywords for a young student like you: green and digital. In Europe, spirit well-informed young people are vital to the green growth ambition. The future economic prosperity is actually tied to the natural environment and the demand for the green solutions to the social challenges. And the digital solution can definitely help you and us to fulfill a greener world. So what you should do, my dear fellows? We always say that young generation is a game changer, but are you one of them? Or how to make you become one of them? I think the answer is at least very crystal clear to me, that set the course to the whole new green and digital world. You know why? Just like probably you don't know, you are familiar with the Luffy and the One Piece, the Japanese manga. He always said, let's sail with your own peers through this great line to find your own treasure, One Piece. That's all for tonight. I'll thank you for your listening. I'm looking forward to have a question from you. Thank you.